Critical and creative thinking skills are essential in a time when AI is rapidly reshaping both education and the world of work, because they help you move beyond simply using technology to actively interpret, challenge, and extend it. When paired with career development learning, these skills enable you to navigate ambiguity, evaluate AI-generated information with discernment, and articulate your perspectives. These are human skills, and they are what employers are increasingly prioritising and looking for. Our in-person tutorials and Canvas learning structure plays a pivotal role in strengthening your abilities in this area by providing space for you to have dialogue, reflect, experiment, and also to build on your guided knowledge building process. Through real-time discussions, feedback, and problem solving with your peers and tutors, you'll practice articulating your assumptions, test ideas, refine communication, and build on your professional confidence. These interactions directly support your career preparation, helping you to develop the adaptive, reflective, and collaborative mindsets that underpin lifelong learning and employability. The following presentation highlights the importance of such human-centric connection and skill development. I hope you enjoy it.
Today, we're jumping into a really big idea that's shaking up higher education. How we think about, well, thinking itself. For the longest time, it's been all about one thing, but that might be changing.
Okay, so let's start right here, because this quote, this metaphor of a telescope, it's perfect. It really nails how we've traditionally viewed critical thinking, as this amazing tool for zooming in, taking things apart, and spotting all the problems.
And for decades, this was the absolute gold standard. The whole point of a rigorous education was to give every single student their own intellectual telescope.
I mean, this is what we're told makes you a sophisticated thinker, right? It's celebrated as this essential skill for any graduate, that ability to dissect an argument, to analyze a text. That's what an educated mind is supposed to do. And this is where things start to get really interesting. The source material poses this critical question. What are we missing? When we're staring so intently through this one specific lens, what's happening just outside our field of view?
So, let's do that. Let's adjust our focus a little and really look at the challenges, the blind spots, that come from relying only on this one powerful but maybe limited tool. And it turns out the problems are pretty significant. For one, the term critical thinking is often super vague, kind of abstract. The way it's taught can feel like you're just checking boxes, which can totally turn students off. And maybe most importantly, it can end up reinforcing some old, exclusionary ideas about whose way of thinking is the right one.
I think a lot of us have felt this, right? You get that feedback on a paper. Be more critical. But what does that actually mean? It becomes this empty buzzword on a rubric instead of a real, lived way of engaging with ideas.
And this gets even more complicated in today's diverse classrooms. The dominant mode of thinking in Western universities has often been, adversarial and individualistic. It's about winning the argument. But that can push aside other totally valid ways of knowing, ways that are more about community, intuition, or connection, like you see in many First Nations knowledge systems.
So here's the bottom line. The world's problems, they're messy, they're complex, they demand way more than just pointing out what's wrong. They demand imagination, they demand new ideas. So the way we teach thinking has to catch up with the kind of thinking the world actually needs right now.
All right, so let's shift gears and see how we can expand that view. This isn't about throwing out the telescope, not at all. It's about adding a new tool to the kit, one that helps us build things up, not just tear them down.
And this is such a key point. These two aren't opposites fighting for dominance, they're partners. Think of them as two ends of a continuum. Critical thinking looks at what is, right? It analyzes. But creative thinking, it looks at what could be. It's generative. It asks what if and gets excited by uncertainty.
The goal then is to rebalance things. It's about taking that critical skill set and expanding it, making it part of a bigger practice that's more inclusive, more forward-looking. We need both the sharp analysis and the imaginative power to create something new.
But to really get this rebalancing act right, we have to ask an even deeper question, a much more fundamental one really. It's not just about how we think, it's about who is doing the thinking.
And this brings us to the absolutely vital role that our backgrounds, our cultures,
and our own lived experiences play in how we think.
You know, for a long time, higher education kind of acted like thinking was this neutral, objective process that happened in a vacuum. But our source material argues, and it's a powerful argument, that that's just not true. Who we are shapes what we see, what questions we ask, and what we consider valid evidence.
And this is exactly why bringing creativity into the fold is such a game changer. It doesn't ask you to leave your identity at the door. It says your unique perspective, your history, your imagination, that's the fuel. That's what makes the process of creating knowledge so much richer.
Okay, so this all sounds great, but what does it actually look like on the ground? How does this shift from pure analysis to this blend of critique and creation actually change the classroom experience?
Well, it's a pretty profound transformation. We're talking about a move away from education as just reproducing old systems of knowledge, to actually reimagining them. We're moving from just churning out experts in a narrow field to cultivating genuine insight. It's less about a contest of who's smartest, and more about a shared journey of making meaning together. So the whole vibe of the classroom changes. It stops being a place where you just passively receive information and becomes this active, dynamic lab for co-creation. The focus isn't just on individual performance anymore. It's on a collective practice driven by real curiosity and, yes, care. And the end result? It's a completely different kind of graduate. You're not just a walking encyclopedia of facts. You're someone who's agile, who's ethically aware, and who feels genuinely equipped to work with others to make a real positive change in the world. Which leaves us with this final massive question for the future of learning. If our goal is not just to teach students how to evaluate the world as it is, but to give them the tools, the confidence, and the courage to help remake it, then how do we have to remake education itself to get them there?